Hey there everyone, BradyBot here, and today we're going to be taking a look at a hand that I played in the most recent Super Sunday day-long event on Bridgebase Online. This is a robot event, it is match points, and let's jump into the auction. So I would like to focus a little bit on how to plan for a squeeze as the main focus of today's video, but the auction is actually rather involved and rather complicated, and I want to talk through that from the start, bring up a couple of interesting points, and recall that this is match points. So we're in the south hand, second seat, everyone vulnerable, and we have this two loser hand. Now generally I don't like opening two clubs, almost regardless of the conditions of contest. But this hand feels a little bit too strong to me to open just one heart. The reason I don't like opening two clubs in general is that first off, the bid's artificial. You never get to show your suits at like a low enough level. And if you have a two-suited hand or a hand that might want to think about playing in multiple different strains, often you kind of get relegated to just showing one of your suits and then backing into some sort of 3 no-trump contract if you don't find an immediate fit. The two-club opening bid followed by your partner's artificial response makes it very difficult to start showing your suits naturally at low levels. So in this case, very possible we could miss out on a spade fit, which I really don't want to do with a hand that looks like this. We could easily be on for 7 spades and only have 11 tricks and hearts. But, you know, we don't want to score the faded plus 260 when partner just has a 14440 count. So we do elect to open this one 2 clubs, which I think is probably going to be close to unanimous across the field. Our partner responds with a waiting 2 diamond bid, and we don't play any sort of Kokich relay in this system. Very, very simple 2/1, so we start with 2 hearts. Just natural and forcing. Our partner bids 3 diamonds, denying 3-card heart support. We'll keep that in mind for later in the auction. And so partner's showing this natural diamond suit. Again, we could bid something like 3 spades to show both of our suits, but if partner has spades, I would expect them to bid their own 4-card spade suit over a 3-heart bid from us. So we bid 3 hearts, trying not to take up as much room as possible. You know, you can notice that after our 2-club bid, we have just made the cheapest bid at every opportunity. Partner's the one that's taken up a lot of room in the auction by bidding 3 diamonds. Our partner jumps to 4 no-trump key card, and I think this is often a mistake. Sometimes when you're responding to a 2-club opener, you do have a hand that wants to take captaincy of the auction, and bidding key card is a way to take captaincy. But more often than not, you want the player with the stronger hand to become captain in a lot of these auctions. And the reason is because they could have some wild distribution that you're not aware of. And when you tell them about your key cards, they'll have a better time placing how many tricks they can actually take. Like North, with probably a hand that has a lot of holes in it, is going to find out we have all of these key cards and maybe even the Club King, but they aren't going to know about this Diamond Void. They aren't going to know about us being 7-4 in the majors. So 4 no trump, often going to be a mistake. I think with the hand partner held, the entire auction felt like a bit of a mistake, but we'll see that when the dummy comes down. So over 4 no trump, we do have a decision. I elected to bid 5 diamonds. I'm not going to dwell too much on this. We could have bid 5 no trump to show an even number of key cards with a void somewhere in our hand. But the fact that we've showed a single suited heart hand and that our void is opposite partner's natural diamond suit, both of these are kind of deterrents to me for showing the void in the first place. For starters, partner might already be placing us on a diamond shortness, just based on, likelihood from the auction. So if they're looking at something like ace jack 6 of diamonds over there, and we show them our 4 key cards, which we do with 5 diamonds, they're already going to think that we might have no diamond losers on this auction. They wouldn't need us to have the diamond king to fill in their suit. So they bid 5 no trump, which this bid in some ways is going to help relinquish captaincy. When you start with 4 no trump, normally your partner responds to key cards and you just place the contract after that. If it had gone 4 no trump, 5 diamonds, 6 hearts, for example, that would be a complete sign-off bid. We don't really have any control to pull that bid unless we have a very, very special type of hand. But 4 no trump, 5 diamonds, 5 no trump. Now our partner has promised we have all 5 key cards and the queen of trumps. The key card kind of interaction that we've had, the question and answer phase, is over. And now this bid lets us, we can choose to respond to 5 no trump, and in this case we should. There's no reason not to bid 6 clubs. Maybe partner bids 7 hearts over this. Maybe partner's looking at 6 diamonds and 4 clubs to the queen jack, and once they find out we have the ace king of clubs, they're like, this looks good, we're in business. Now our club suit is going to run for some extra pitches. But our partner signs off in 6 hearts, and now we do have a final decision to make. You can already see what I did. I elected to bid 6 no trump. This is kind of a match point decision. I'm not going to dwell too much on it. I started constructing some possible hands that partner can hold, and it looked to me like if 6 no trump was making, then we're going to be taking the same number of tricks as we do in hearts most of the time. I was basing a lot of my decision on the fact that I didn't think 7 hearts was ever going to be a good contract. And that kind of goes all the way back to this 3 diamond bid where partner has denied 3 card heart support. So it looks as if partner has exactly queen doubleton of hearts. They were unable to make a positive response to a 2 club opening bid. So it looks like their diamond suit's a little weak, probably ace empty, maybe ace jack 5th, ace jack 6th, as I said before. And I just didn't think that they had a good enough hand with the ace of diamonds, the queen of hearts, maybe that wasted jack of diamonds for, say, king doubleton of spades or some other holding in spades that would be enough to get us up to 13 tricks required in hearts if we were to, say, rough a spade in their hand. And if partner did have all of that, the ace of diamonds, the queen of hearts, the king of spades, they probably should have found a different way to bid their hand rather than bidding 3 diamonds natural and then over 3 hearts just jumping all the way to 4 no trump. But anyway, so long story short, I elected to bid 6 no trump. It's a match point hand. If we're taking 12 tricks in both contracts, which could easily be the case if we're on a spade finesse, then we want to play this in no trump. And, as long as 7 hearts is not making, we'll be scoring most of the match points on this board if 6 no trump makes. Now, it's very possible the opponents can find a diamond lead, get in with a spade card, cash a diamond trick. Maybe they won't work that out, especially with my partner declaring the no trump. From their side, they're the one who's bid diamonds. It would be very difficult for East to lead a diamond away from the king or queen, or even away from the king and queen. So for all those considerations, it felt to me like I can count 11 top tricks, 7 hearts with partner's queen, 2 clubs, the ace of spades and the ace of diamonds. Hopefully partner will have a little bit extra that we can try and set up a 12th trick. And that ended the auction. So we got the 5 of spades lead, and now this was partner's hand. And, I'm not one to criticize partners bidding a lot. I think that there probably were alternative ways to handle this hand. I know the robots actually favor a 2 no trump response to 2 clubs, showing a balanced hand with some values. I think that would be a perfectly suitable way for North to handle their smattering of high card points. So this was just not a hand that I had pictured partner could hold on the auction because they, made a negative response originally. Over 2 hearts, I might even just bid 2 no trump with the north cards if that was wasn't some sort of artificial heart raise or something like that, to try and keep the auction a little lower. But here we are. So we're in 6 no trump. It unfortunately looks like 7 hearts is going to be a decent contract. Now, maybe the field won't be there. The problem is that once we ruff a spade and cash the diamond ace, pitching our other spade loser, we can just pull trumps, and that'll be 13 tricks. So for the pairs who got to this point in the auction and elected not to bid 6 no trump, they're going to have an easy 1460. Most likely. I mean, it's possible that the 3rd round of spades gets over-ruffed from east. We don't know. But in the more likely event that either west is short in spades or that spades are 4-3, we can just ruff the spade low, cash the diamond ace, pitching our last spade loser, unblock the heart queen, cross in clubs, or even ruff a diamond to get back to our hand, pull all the trumps, 13 tricks and hearts. This means to get a decent match point result on this board, we really need to find a way to take 13 tricks and no trump, and we can only count 12 of them. Not only can we only count 12 of them, there doesn't look to be any prospects for, a finesse that's going to get us a 13th. Of course, we could try the 10 of spades at trick 1, but it would be very, very strange to lead away from a queen-jack holding against 6 no trump. If you had the queen-jack and you wanted to lead it, you may as well lead a high one. Where if your partner actually does have the ace, then you have some potential to take 2 tricks off the top. And if your partner has the king, who cares if the suit blocks? We're not trying to defeat 6 no trump 4 tricks, we're only trying to beat it 1. So, aside from putting in the 10 of spades, maybe the queen of clubs falls doubleton. But if not for that, we really need to make a 13th trick on a squeeze somehow. Now, if the opponents had led, for example, a heart, we would have a pretty clear line of play. We could win the queen of hearts, unblock the ace king of clubs just to see if the queen drops, run 7 rounds of hearts, pitching 3 diamonds and a club from our hand, play a spade to the king, and cash the... Sorry, I guess we also need to pitch the jack of diamonds. It could depend on what squeeze exactly we're playing for. But play a spade back to the king, then cash the ace of diamonds. We would be in some 2-card end position there with a singleton spade opposite ace 10. We would have one of the minor suit jacks in the north hand remaining, presumably the jack of clubs. It's more likely that we would be able to pick up a player holding 5 spades and the club queen than someone holding 5 spades and the king queen of diamonds. But unfortunately that required, if you were following, the king of spades as a late entry to the north hand to cash the diamond ace. Squeezes do require entries to both hands, almost always, for them to operate. And in this case, the opening spade lead really messes with our communications. So if we were to try the same line of play, win the king of spades, unblock the ace king of clubs, and run hearts, we no longer have an entry to north's hand. The ace of diamonds is stranded for one thing. And so we're just going to go down multiple tricks from there. And if instead we win the king of spades and cash the diamond ace, pitching a spade, and then run the hearts, once again we don't have an entry to north's hand. The opponents can just throw all of their minor suit cards and retain spades at the end to beat us. So that means we can't actually perform the squeeze in a way that involves winning the king of spades on the first round. Well, if you're familiar with squeeze positions, there's something known as a crisscross squeeze, and that seems to be the best hope for us at this point to take our 13 tricks. To set up the crisscross squeeze, you need to get into a situation where you have two blocked suits in both hands. So in this case, we can block the spade suit by winning the ace on the first round, and the club suit is already blocked. This way, we can reach an end position where we have, for example, 10 doubleton of spades opposite the king, singleton in North's hand, and ace-king doubleton of clubs opposite jack third in North's hand. No opponent could hold all of the queen third of clubs and either the queen jack of spades or two spades from an original 5-card holding in this 4-card end position. So that's our best chance, and that's what I elected to play for in this scenario. Now, the squeeze itself just is more or less automatic. You know the ending you're playing for, but the important point here is you always want to think about this at trick 1, because if we were to lazily either play low or try the 10 of spades and it were to get covered from west, that king of spades is the only late entry to the north hand, which is very important for any sort of squeeze to operate. So that is a card we cannot afford to lose. At this point, I'm going to uncover all 4 hands, and we're going to note that East actually did lead away from the queen jack of spades. But because East still has the queen of clubs, the squeeze operates regardless. So here's how the hand played out. I will quickly step through the play now that we've kind of come up with the ultimate plan for declare. So we win the ace of spades, play a heart to the queen. Very important to cash the diamond ace, so that we have extracted one extra trick before we run the heart suit. We need to reach that required 4-card end position, and if North still had the ace of diamonds in their hand, then East would be left with one extra discard that they haven't been forced to make yet. So we do cash the ace of diamonds, pitching a spade. Now we play for this end position that we've already kind of talked about. We throw out all of the diamonds from North because it's more likely that, this kind of situation, this queen of clubs with the long spades is going to happen than both the king, queen of diamonds with the long spades. East elected to ditch all of their clubs early, which made the hand very simple. But this was probably good defense from East. Most of the time, you want to let your partner know what suit they should be guarding when you're getting squeezed. So if West actually had the jack of clubs here instead of the 10, then East needed to unguard the club queen and let their partner guard that suit while they retain the queen jack of spades. So after running the hearts, the queen of clubs fell, and we were able to claim our 13 tricks. On the crisscross squeeze, we now unblock the club king, cross to the spade king, cash the jack of clubs. This was worth, I think, close to 90% of the match points for bidding and making 13 tricks and 6 no trump. 6 hearts making all 13 tricks was only worth about 55 or 56%. And of course, if we had only made 12 tricks and 6 no trump, we would have done worse than the pairs who were in 6 hearts. So really big deal that we were able to pull this off in the play once we reached a bit of an inferior contract. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.